Welcome back to the Degenerate Mentor. Today we have my buddy Matt Chick.
Love the name, bro. I love the fucking name. It's fun.
And so, starting out, we've just been trying to find some people that kind of emulate the journey and path that I had been on.
Okay.
Maybe not doing all the right things in the beginning, but figuring that shit out. And then, I know that you've made an impact in my life, and I know that's one of your goals is to impact others.
100%.
And so we're bringing Matt on, and Matt's going to share a little bit about his story, and then through him sharing his story, we'll beat him up on a couple things, and
there's plenty to beat up.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
To beat up.
So kind of tell everybody like who you are, what you do briefly, and then share a little bit of your story on how you got there.
Obviously, my name's Matt Chick. I'm in real estate, right? So I have a real estate team, investment company. So we fix, flip, wholesale, novations, creative finance. Then I have an investment team of 12. I have a real estate team of 12 right now, active real estate out of Phoenix, and kind of rebuilding, man. To be honest with you, I've had three iterations of a real estate team now. Got into real estate 2017 from the car business. Solo for a year, and then started building my first team. Split with that business partner. Started building the second team. Split with that business partner. This is the third go around of a team, and I'm doing it alone. No partners on this one. So super excited about it, but it's kind of weird. It's like you think to yourself, you've had a real estate team for 5 years. But it's not where I think it should be. Like we've been as high as 45 agents doing 300 plus transactions. Right now we got 8 agents that sell. I got 4 on the investment side, and we're probably going to do 140 units this year. So it won't be, it's not what you're used to. So it's just different to have to rebuild. But I think that's the story of our lives for sure. I don't know how many times you've had to rebuild, but I've had to rebuild substantially my life multiple times.
And so do you think when you're rebuilding, like I know you're like your partners, your old partners, you're still buddies with.
Yeah.
So do you think as you're rebuilding, I believe as we rebuild better, for one thing.
Correct.
Second is sometimes for me, either my standards or my values have changed. Not in a bad way,
no.
in a good way, right?
Yeah.
But just like I'm seeing things differently.
Correct.
And in order to get that vision fulfilled, I have to do things a little differently. So.
Well, unfortunately for me, man, it's like I've never been the guy that's been able to like think about something, research it, and then know exactly what it is. I've always had to start building something.
You mean fortunately?
Yeah, fortunately. I don't I've never been able to just build something once, whether it be a project at home. Like I figure it out in the midst of the build. Right. Yeah. So like, it's just how I've always learned. It's how I've ever done everything in my life. It's like, hey, take action super fast, start the shit really quick. Oh shit, not working. Let's fix it. Right. So that's just what it's been in real estate for me. I've had some great success, and we're still doing good for what we are 12 months as a new team. But it's not where I want it to be.
And that's why I love following people like you, because I'm the exact opposite, right? I was raised as a thinker.
Yeah.
I overthink. And as I overthink and not take the action, everybody passes me up.
Oh, interesting.
And so as in rebuilding, there's still some things like, right, being a lender, I think about compliance a lot.
Yeah.
I still think about compliance a lot.
I don't at all.
I know. And I look at it differently now, now. And so now there are things that I'm just going to buy it. I'm going to take action on it. And if I don't, like you were teasing me the other day, like turn the leads on, don't call them.
Yeah.
Well, that was me not overthinking, not coming up with a process.
Yeah.
I was like, I paid for them. We're turning them on. I'll figure out who's going to call them.
Let's go.
At some other point.
Fucking love it.
If not, if I would have waited, they would be gone. I wouldn't have got that opportunity.
Yeah.
And so, mixing the overthinking, and my old business partner, he's that way. He takes action.
Yeah.
I was the thinker. He was the action taker.
That's awesome.
So now I have to be both.
Yeah.
And it can be.
It's 2 different skill sets.
It definitely is.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think you can learn it. Like, I think it's something that you can learn. Like, trust me. There's still nights when I'm going to sleep and I'm like, well, how am I going to, or when I ruck a lot, right?
Yeah.
Early in the morning by myself. That's where I get to think.
Yeah.
Okay, you can think now. And then when you get to work, you got to take action.
100%. So. But when you're back to the standards thing, is like, as you do it and do it and do it, like you evolve, you realize really what you want. What are the values you're going to hire to? What are the standards you're going to set? I come from the car business of high accountability, high standards. This is what you do every day as a salesperson, and you're held accountable to that. This team started out to be that, but it will graciously change over time as we start to care more about what our agents are wanting to do and where they're wanting to go. Try to lead with value, but there's certain standards that you have to meet to be on our team anymore. And I won't run a team. Like when we had 45 agents, I kind of ran a team as like, hey, we're here to help you build your business, but this is your business. And I still have that same philosophy, but it's like, hey, listen, I'm here to help you build your business. I want you to brand yourself and brand your business. But
and
you have to do these things. And if you don't do them, you're not here.
And I think if everybody sticks to those standards, we talk about this a lot, you either level up or level out. So if everybody's sticking to those standards and you're not, eventually, like I always laugh because Chet Black taught me the take him to the cliff conversation. Like, here are the standards. What can you commit to over the next 5 days? And if you don't do those things, what's the, like, you understand, like, that's the standards fired you. I didn't fire you. Right. And so then it makes it easier too for recruiting purposes. And when people need to be let go, they kind of figure out themselves, like, if if your numbers aren't turning every day at 5, the one day that you miss, like, there's no excuse at this point. You've had those excuses over the last 3 to 6 months. And now, and so leveling up, I think people, like, if they want to be a part of that culture, they're like, maybe I just don't fit in.
They have to be part of that culture. Like, it's an anomaly to find an agent that maybe they were super good on socials, or they got a big following or a big sphere. But if you're the typical person that's got a decent sphere, but it's not going to just produce overnight, like, especially a new agent, like, you have to be part of that culture. You have to set standards for yourself. You have to have things that your activity has to show. This, a lot of people get into this business for freedom or money, right? That's what everybody says. But the truth is, you don't get any freedom your first year. You got to go build this thing, regardless if you're on a team or not on a team. Like, you have to be part of something that's going to set a standard for you to go do it. Like,
from here moving on.
Yeah. And it's like, unless you know it, like, coming from the car business, it transitioned very easily for me because I was coming from sales. I knew how to follow up better than 98% of the agents because I've been following up my whole fucking life. I already had so much sales experience from the car business, life insurance, doing stuff that I've always been selling. I've followed up with people forever. So when I got to real estate, people were like, oh, we don't call. Like, we don't do that. We don't.
Us salespeople were the worst follow up.
Yeah, we text them once or call them once. I'm like, once. I'm calling 3 times a day. So it's just different. It's just different.
I always tell people when they say they want to get into either mortgage or real estate for freedom, like, you get the freedom to work your dick off.
Yeah, dude.
That's the only freedom you get. Is that you get to work until.
Yeah. And then, once you build it and you got a good, and if you're a single agent and you're doing 20, 30, 40 deals a year and making a couple $100,000, I guess you could maintain if you want.
So earlier you said, someone that has a big presence, I think they think because they have a big presence that they don't have to do the activities. And even with the big presence, without the activities, that presence doesn't convert to dollars.
Yeah. Well, you got to post, you got to do a lot of stuff, like social hard game, dude.
And still call.
Yeah. Still got to ask for business.
Yeah. I mean, someone can reach out, DM me like, hey, I'm interested in buying a house. And if you don't call them,
you're done.
Right? They're going to DM somebody else.
Yeah.
And so I think people lose sight of that. It's a great tool, but it still doesn't beat the conversations. Like, I believe that all my social that I do is all I'm doing it for, or at least that's what I've been taught, is to have more conversations. If I can have more conversations,
100%.
I can build more relationships. If I can build more relationships,
100%.
I have the opportunity. I still don't get more deals. I just have the opportunity to get more deals.
This business is only conversations. You don't get anything without one. No, like, even the come list me, like, someone just calls and hits you up and says, come list my house. Like, those are great, but you still have to have a conversation.
Yeah, you're not just firing off a DocuSign with the listing agreement and say, hey, sign this, and then, we'll get it on MLS for you.
No. I've done that once. But I knew the guy really well. So he goes, hey, I want to list my house. Cool, I'll send you the dogs. I'm not coming home.
I love those ones too. Hey, here's the link. Just fill out the app.
Yeah, just fill out the app. I didn't know you're buying.
Yeah. So, we'll let you know what you're good for.
For sure.
What's my rate? I don't know.
No, I don't know yet.
Yeah. What are my closing costs? No idea.
No idea.
Okay, well, just let me know when I need to write a check for.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Yeah, they're rare.
Very rare.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about maybe some of the trials and tribulations. Like when I started wanting to share my journey and my story, I always bring up Dustin a lot. And so Dustin always tried to get me to convert from being the warning to being the example.
Yeah.
And so I know at one point in your life, you were definitely a warning.
Yeah, for sure.
And so what did that look like for you? How'd you get through that? And then what do you battle, if anything, still today, on the stories and the shit that you tell yourself?
That's a lot to unpack, bro. That's a lot to unpack. I would tell you that my childhood was the hard part, right? Like, I always tell you, I grew up in a house without love, but I don't know if that's necessarily true as I've analyzed it. They just didn't know how to love me the way I wanted to be loved or how to show it, maybe, So, like, I came from a very, very verbally abusive, household that you were never good enough. You couldn't do anything right. Always getting yelled at. Like we would have screaming matches. Me and my mom didn't get along very well. My dad left when I was 3. My stepdad moved in when I was 3. He was a biker dude that, rode Harleys.
Oh, I wouldn't see that.
Yeah, I know, right? Rough ass dude. I remember one time he shoved me in a corner. He said, I'll go to prison the rest of my life. I'll beat the shit out of you. And he had already thrown me a few, but not like that. Like I pissed him off. And I remember I was like a badge of honor how mad I was able to make him. Like I enjoyed how pissed off I got him.
Doesn't sound
It's
like
weird.
you.
It's weird.
Weird how that
I
translates.
know we're getting into trauma. No, but that carried on to selling drugs in high school. I started luckily for me, I didn't really like using drugs. Like I didn't like I've smoked a bunch of weed, but I didn't really like it. Coke was cool, but it wasn't like my addiction was the money because
So the entrepreneur off the bat.
Well, I was poor, dude. I grew up poor. Like we would boil water on a stove to heat potatoes, or we'd boil water to take baths, or we'd eat potatoes and eggs for like a week. Or there was one man. Thank God for my best friend, his grandma. Man, we there'd be nights that my parents would be like, "Hey, dude, like we don't have food tonight for you." They would have ate dinner before I got home, and because they know I'd go to my friend's house. So I'd literally go to my friend's house to eat fucking food. And like I don't know if they thought anything was wrong with it, but it felt weird. Like for me going through that, it felt weird that I'd literally have to, hit my buddy up, like, hey, can I come over for dinner? Like it's weird fucking conversation.
So what's crazy though is knowing you now though, but like you still don't like flashy things.
No.
You don't spend money on bullshit.
No.
Like it's still like all of these things like I always talk about it, so it made me who I am.
Yeah, I'm
right, wrong, or indifferent. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that.
Dude, like everybody says, you would never change anything. Like I don't think I would change it because I love who I am. I got into sports in high school, which was a game changer because I had some really good coaches. I had one coach in particular, this guy named Ron Francoeur, that kind of felt like he kind of took me under his wing. I was grossly overweight as a freshman. I was 320 pounds. I had never worked out. I was soft, and he kind of took me under his wing. My freshman year, dude, they wouldn't even let me play football. They were like, dude, you're so out of shape. You're like so out of shape, you're scared you're gonna die. So like my freshman year of football, I had to run the track while everybody else practiced.
Damn.
But I kept showing up. And at the end of the year, that's when coaches would get you to try to quit, like back in the day. Like
when they were allowed to try to get you to quit.
So, but this one
kick
coach,
your dick in over and over again.
I kept showing up. I ended up dropping down to like 240 pounds. And I remember he asked me, he goes, dude, why didn't you quit? And I'm like, man, it was better to be here than home.
Yeah, what else do you have to do?
Yeah, I go, dude, it was better to be here. And like, at least I was in my own head. Like, you guys yelling, they didn't realize like them yelling at me was nothing. Like they were like, it was nothing. Like I fucking was like it was like you're so conditioned at that point that like someone yelling at you and telling you that you're fat, like it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever, bro. Like, cool, dude. Like, I don't care.
Like, you're not someone that's supposed to love me, and you're like, I'm.
Yeah,
I got the people that supposedly love me.
Yeah,
doing these things to me. So you doing it to me is just like cool.
But like I always talk, so like that coach really like saved my life. Got me in the gym, working out all the time. It's funny in my yearbook he goes, "Don't be buried in a piano box." That was his way of saying like,
damn.
That was his way of saying
stay
like,
trim.
Stay fucking like keep working out, motherfucker, because you got the genes to get fat. I was like, and I loved it, dude. I fucking have it to this day. But like there was like a couple of pivotal moments, and those are the ones I'll kind of tell you about. Like, when I was 10, we got in a big old fight with my mom. And I remember her, it was like she was devastated my dad left. And in this fight, she told me and my sister, she was like, "You're the reason your dad left." Like she legit said, "You're the reason, like your dad didn't want you." Right. And at this point, I haven't seen him. I've never seen him. So, and I just remember like just how that was fucking like devastating to me. It was devastating to me. And I remember like at that point, the same story, I almost took my life in that, but
older sister or younger sister?
Older. So, and so it was just, that was like the moment I was like, fuck, I'm not worth anything. And that's where everything kind of clicked negatively, right? Because there's two ways to go. I'm not worth nothing, so I can go like
prove everybody wrong that
I am. Or I can go down a path of like, it doesn't matter. Like I wasn't scared. Like at that point, when you're willing to hurt yourself, there's nothing anybody else can do to hurt you.
No,
because you're at such a low point. Like you don't fear that, right? So like during that process, that's when I started hanging out with the wrong people. That's when I started, I'd already been jumped a couple times. Like I was just doing shit the wrong way, And then I got into the drugs, and it just escalated from there. And then kind of getting into football, that saved me a little bit in high school because I had to have good grades because I really wanted to play football. But I continued that process all the way to about 18, right before I graduated. And then I stopped doing all that shit when I got out and got a job. I moved out of my parents' house at 17 years old. I drove from Phoenix to high school every day. So, because I was finally able to get on my own. My dad came back in my life at 13. Had a great relationship with him until he died when I was 22. So, died of stomach cancer. He was 52 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. But I had a phenomenal relationship. We're very, very similar.
So you figured out that you weren't the reason.
That wasn't the reason. Yeah. She was the reason.
There's a common denominator.
She was the reason. 100%. Everything made sense. Like she was a lot. She was a lot.
Did your older sister, was she more of like a mother figure for you, or was she?
Dude, my sister like was a scrapper. Like she had my back.
Yeah,
she had my back.
So you two against the world.
Yeah, we're super tight now. Super tight now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, but but everybody's experience was different. She didn't have a good experience with my real father. Because she's not what you would consider the typical beautiful woman, how she would say it. And my dad had made comments to her about the way she looked, shit like that, and she still holds that. Like it's still there in her life, So which is tough, dude. It's fucking tough, dude. Your parent, like as a parent, you have a real obligation not to just don't fuck up your kids. Like you could fuck your kids up, dude, and so many parents do. And I think
most do.
And coming from that, but like you can fuck them up mentally, man, where they have a lot of shit done.
Like I think there's a lot of things that they can do. Like in your instance, there was a lot of things done on purpose.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of things that aren't fucking that you. Well, I know even me as a parent, like you don't realize the things that you have done or said or
how they
or the impact. Them. Yeah, the impact. Yeah. And so then I guess you got to ask.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I remember having a moment. My son came to visit, and Dustin and I were talking. Dustin's like, "You got to figure out if you're good." And I'm like, "Okay, I will while he's here." And I remember it was literally the last day of him being here. It was Christmas. I don't even remember when, a couple years ago. And my old business partner, Pete, had surgery, had a hip replacement. I was going to pick him up a cart because they were going to go to Disneyland or something. They were out of town. And so I said, "Hey, Bubba, can you come with me and help me?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we jump in the truck, and he's been here for like 4 days. And I fucking procrastinated the whole time. Right. And we're driving down McCulloch, which you came up to get here. Yeah. And I was like, God, I gotta do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, like, are we good? Like, do you have any resentment? And if you do, what can I do? And he's like, no, for a long time there was, but you've,
yeah.
I asked you to be there when my son was born because I couldn't be there, and you did it. And so, are we as close as I'd like us to be? No, we're both kind of like, we do our thing. We both have lives, and but asking,
big time.
Like I could go on forever and just fucking wonder.
Yeah.
And there's probably still some there. He probably, maybe doesn't want to hurt my feelings either. And so
we don't know.
But I think if we don't ask, we don't know. And there's especially where we're at today. Like you look at all the shit that we consider fucked up, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Like how could it be not fucked up? So 100%. You get through high school, you get out of high school, what do you do?
Dude, I worked at Home Depot. Got fired from there for some crazy shit. But I never. We won't talk about that.
Yeah, we can't go on record. There's a statute of limitations.
So and then, dude, I started working at a nightclub, and I was a bouncer.
I was gonna say bouncer.
Yeah, bouncer, and I loved it.
Not a go-go dancer.
No, not a go-go dancer, and I loved it. And then that opened up an opportunity to get in the car business as a salesperson. So I ended up taking a job as a salesperson in the car business. Found out that I was pretty good at it. So I was selling a bunch of cars, and then a sales manager position opened up, and I got passed up for it. And the sales manager position opened up, and I got passed up for it. And I asked the CEO, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, what do I got to do?" He goes, "You're just not the right fit. You haven't been in the business long enough. I'm looking for someone with that work." I'm like, I get it, dude. I go back to selling my 30 units a month. The dealership was only selling 50, and I was selling 25. So I was crushing, right?
Well, I mean, it sounded like your network was okay.
Yeah. Well, I was good at selling, and
they probably couldn't lose you.
If people got in front of me, I crushed. I just crushed. And he was pissed off one day because he had just walked in on the new sales manager laying down on a couch at one of our locations. And he goes, "Do you want it?" And he walks in my office. I was there every day before everybody. I left after everybody. It's just who I am, right? I've always worked hard. And I remember because I was there before him. He walks in the office, comes to my office. He goes, "You still want it?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude." He goes, "Cool. Here's your choices. I'll give you a $6,000 salary. I'll give you $100 a car." And we've only ever sold 50 cars. And I go, "Well, can I think about that? Like, let me run some numbers, right?" And the vision was to get to a couple hundred cars. And I go to him the next day. I go, "I'll do $100 a car." And he just stared at me. And he goes, "Nobody's done $100 a car. Everybody I've hired has always chosen 6,000."
Because I want to fucking work.
And I said, "They're not like me." I go, I'll take $100 a car." He goes, "Okay." So I started hiring salespeople. We ended up opening. Before our model, we were inside Walmart's, like in front of Walmart's. It was an interesting business model because we were a lease to own program. So, anyways, we closed down the Walmarts. We have one satellite dealership. End up opening 4 other dealerships: Glendale, Peoria, Mesa. So I helped open all those dealerships. We end up getting about 200 units. About 12 months into being a sales manager, he puts me on a salary because he can no longer afford me. He's like, "I'm not paying you $100 a car anymore." But that's where I started making 6 figures, and that's when the light bulb clicked for me that I was worth. If I had the opportunity, I could go create real income for me and my family. Paid off all of our debt. Before that, I lost everything. Credit tanked. I was in the door business, and construction went to shit. I lost a house and like all that, and then I went to the car business, and I was able to get out from under that, build my credit back up, be able to go buy a house, and then there was an opportunity for me to take over as COO as they were selling. The goal was to take it national. And it didn't work out that way. Ended up selling, and then we brought another guy in that was supposed to help me. Me and him started being super combative. The CEO, I think, liked that guy a little bit better than me. I think he's dealt with me long enough. Dude, it just didn't like the vibe anymore, But I would have stayed, but my wife came to me right before my daughter was born, and she goes, "Hey, I've raised 2 kids without you. Both my boys have been born at this point." And what she meant was I wasn't present 7 days a week or 6 days a week in the car business. Never there, bell to bell. I fucking loved it. Energy's high, selling. I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. And she goes, "I've raised 2 kids without you. If I got to do it a third time, I'm going to do it without you." So she's pretty much telling me like, "Hey, you got to fix your schedule." Or I'm like, "Fuck." And it was my daughter. So it was about 7 years ago. I'm like, "What the fuck am I going to do?" I had a buddy that was in real estate at the time.
So you got into real estate because you don't work a lot in real estate. So that works out great.
So I had a buddy that was in real estate, and I'd kind of been like, I wouldn't say coaching him, but we had a lot of conversations around sales, and he had taken off. Like, he had implemented some of the stuff we talked about. He was one of the smartest real estate agents that I've ever met. Probably still is. Like, fucking genius. He knows this game. And, I came in, I was working some of his deals, ended up doing 40 units my first year, which was amazing. And that was, I did 25 retail, 15 in the investment space, wholesale real estate, which he introduced me to that. Like, honestly, I probably don't give him enough credit because we're friends still. I don't know if we're acquaintances or friends. I don't know what he would call me. I still consider him a friend because he helped me get in the industry. Ended up partnering the first team with him. And, he showed me a lot of this game. To be fair, he taught me a lot of shit. And, but it was interesting. Even that relationship, I knew like he wanted me to be on his team. And we had a very frank conversation in the beginning. I said, "Dude, once I learn it, I'm just going to run fast. So it wouldn't be fair for me to be under you, but I'll partner with you." It's kind of how the team kind of happened. Because once I knew it, like I knew I'm going, right? I just knew that about myself, and I would hate to like run him off, even though we're not partners anymore. So I was like, let's just partner. And that team did well, man. We ended up having 25, 30 people. We started making money. It was good. And then me and him just didn't click anymore running a business together. So we imploded it.
Do you think you get more juice from building it? Like there's a pattern here, right?
100%.
There's a pattern. You go up, you come down, you rebuild. You go up, you come down, you rebuild. And so I know there's a lot of juice.
Well, there's a struggle for me. This is funny because we coach with the same person. So Dustin's always talked about like, I've always said I thrived in chaos. But it was funny because he told me, he goes, "That's such bullshit." I'm like, "What do you mean, dude?" He goes, "Fucking chaos ruins results. Like chaos doesn't get results. I don't care any aspect of your life." And I'm like, "Dude, explain." And he's like, "There's nothing you get. Results only come from consistency."
Correct.
Right? It only comes from doing the same thing over and over until you get really good at doing it and keep doing it, right? Chaos, you're all over the place. So what I had done is built 2 real estate teams thriving in chaos. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. Shiny object, shiny object. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. And we were really good, dude. Like we had a great agent attraction. We had people that wanted to come onto the team. We were doing a bunch of fucking units. Like it was working. Like it was cool as shit, but it wasn't profitable.
Yeah, so it's like
to do 250 units and profit $60,000 is a mistake.
Yeah, you could just sell like 15 of your own houses.
Giant mistake, right? So like we had overhead on top of overhead. Sales manager, which she was worth the money 100%. She was great. Love her to this day. But we had a full-time videographer that sat on his ass 90% of the time that we were paying $4K a month too. We had an office space, $6,000.
I always wondered too when I came down. I'm like, how do I get a videographer?
Yeah, dude, it was stupid. Just blow money, bro. That's how you get one. Just to sign up to just write the check. You know, and it was just crazy, dude. It was just.
And did you justify it by saying that you were reinvesting in the business?
Yeah. It was all stupid.
But it wasn't reinvestment. There was no ROI on that investment.
So now it's fuck chaos, love discipline. That's just it. And that's why the new iteration of the team, I've told everybody, it's funny because I still am a shiny object guy. I want to look.
Yeah, that's never going to go away.
I want to look at other businesses. Well, I do three things. I own a real estate team. I own an investment company, and then I coach in real estate. That's all I do. So, and it's boring as fuck. And there's days I'm like, God, this sucks. And then there's days like, I get why we do this. Right. And there's days like I still have, like, there's still things I'm working on, like emotional regulation. Like that's something that's new for me over the last, like, probably 2 years that I've been working on. And it's not easy. The emotional regulation with my kids, my spouse, my business, people that I have conversations with. You know, it's funny. I should say that I'm not an emotional person. I'm a fucking emotional person.
Come on.
I am fucking emotional.
Like people say, why are you yelling? I'm like, I'm not. I'm just stop
passion, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I am. I get fired up. I have high highs. I have low lows. And so like this last 12 to 15 months, all I have focused on is being a consistent matchup. And that's weird. I said that to third person. But just being consistent as fuck at everything I do. I get up, I go to work out. I start my morning meetings. I run my real estate team. I look at our investment properties. And that's it. And I'm going to continue to do that until the business is exactly where I want it to be. And I'll just keep building.
Yeah, it's mastering that mundane. And I think everybody wants it to get there quickly, just like losing weight, right? Yeah. Like I have people come to me like, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds. I go, great, we're going to take 12 months. They're like, well, no, hold on. No,
3 weeks.
I don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's like you just tweak a couple things and you do that over time. Like even me, I'm on a nutrition thing now. And I'm like, I know it's not going to give me the result in 2 months. It's going to take six to 8 months. But now I'm okay with that.
And the roads are different. Like, so I've been on a weight loss journey for how long have we known each other? 5, 6 years. Yeah. And I've talked about it every time we've ever fucking talked.
Yeah. I give you shit.
Yeah. And then like probably the last 4 months, I've dropped 55 pounds. I've plateaued at 327. So I fluctuate between 327 and 330 every fucking day. But the cool thing now is I'm at a place of like, just keep going.
Here's the thing, because before when you plateau, you give up. Right? You're like, fuck
burn the house, baby.
Yeah, why am I doing this?
Let's go.
I'm not getting where I want to be. But see, a year from now, 2 years from now, 2 years go by fucking like that. Right? 2 years from now, if you're at 300, it's only 27 pounds, but 27 pounds at 300 is a lot of fucking weight.
Yeah. And I think it's also like, I just want to be an example. Example to my kids, example to my team. I think that's the biggest thing. I used to tell everybody I just want to be, and this is the same, is I want to just be of value. If I'm in a relationship with you for 5 minutes, 5 years, 50 years, I just want to make sure I'm of value in that relationship. That's all I care about.
I think that's really what any of us, ultimately, if you really dive deep, want to be, have impact. Yeah. Like they talk about leaving something behind, right? It's like, what can you leave behind? Just the way that you made people feel. Yeah. Like, by meeting me, were you better or worse?
100%. Yeah.
Right. And in the shit that I used to do, people would still think that they were better for meeting me. Right.
Yeah.
Like I talk about all the time. I could get all my human needs met by going out.
100%.
Right. I get a good time. Yeah. 1,000%. Where now it's like, well, if I can add I don't even know what that value is. Like even some of the stuff on my social, then people will reach out and be like, hey, I'm trying to get my bench press. I'm like, I don't even fucking bench. Yeah. Right. But just because of what they've seen, I'm like, that's not the space that I thought I would, that I thought I would make an impact, but it is for that person. Yeah. It's like, if you can help one person, why wouldn't you?
Why would you? Yeah.
Right. And I'm still a numbers guy. Yeah. I'm still a sales guy. Yeah. I'm still a mortgage guy. But if I help enough people in other spaces, do they know people that want to buy homes?
Don't you think it's a little bit about like our life though? Like, because like there's times I wish I had help. There's times I wish I had help. like in my life when I was younger, when I was starting to build, like I was always looking for someone that would help, like always, man. And then like insecurities would make me not ask.
I was gonna say, here's the thing though, but we never
yeah,
asked.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the
like,
ones that asked got a lot farther quicker. That's why
Correct.
now we have coaches for fucking everything.
yeah.
But
Facts,
for me,
dude.
it's like two things. One, I can't do it alone. Two, why reinvent the wheel? I can just ask somebody.
100%.
And three, if I pay for it, I do it.
Yeah.
And so if it's going to cost me money, then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to do. I have to do
You
it.
have to do something.
But for me, like, I don't want to just. It's so hard to earn, right? I don't want to just give it away. I'll pay stupid amounts for
Right
coaching,
there.
and I do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Off the 3 or 4 coaches that I have. But then it's like, well, then I just have to show up and be accountable. Like Chepak always says, if you want to have accountable people, hire accountable people.
Is he cool to coach with? Do you coach with him?
I don't coach with him. I just
would love to.
follow him and read all his shit.
I would love to
go to his
coach him.
events, and so
That fucker's expensive. I'm not saying he ain't worth it. I'm just saying he's
yeah, he
fucking
can't be cheap
expensive.
anymore.
No, I think I looked the other day. It was like $1,900 a session, and because his regular coaches are $1,000.
Yeah,
and it's like a little. I think it was 19. Maybe that's off. Don't quote that. I don't fucking know.
Should have signed up 6 years ago when I met him.
dude. Fuck, bro. But like that dude's an assassin. The way he lives his personal life, outside looking in, don't know the guy. I've never met with him. Never shook in his hand. Don't know. But outside looking in, motherfucker's a dog.
Yeah, he grinds.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what we need to look at for if we're trying to do different things. And what I love about his stuff is like it's just commitment and discipline. Those are the only two things. Those are the only two values. Really, it's like,
is there really anything else?
No.
Commit to what you want and then go do it over and over and over until you get it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Like you want to be a better husband. Put time in your relationship.
Correct.
Commit
to certain things.
And this is the problem is the information. People don't know how do I be a better husband? How do I be a better team leader? How do I be a better real estate agent?
Once again, what happens if you just fucking ask?
Yeah. Or, you go learn it, man. There's tons
babe,
on the topic.
What would be better for you?
We bypass the work. And what I mean by that is like, I've taken years of counseling to deal with shit because like I didn't know how to receive love because I was never loved. Like, dude, like, I don't know if I want to say this, but like female hugs, like when I got in real estate, people, fucking females are huggers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and dude, like I'm awkward in a hug. Like it's taken me probably 3 years to be, because my mom, like I didn't give a fucking hug. Like the only women that have ever hugged me were women that I were intimate with. So like I had a fucking real block.
Yeah.
So like I felt like I was doing something I shouldn't do because I was in a relationship. Hugging another female just doesn't embrace it, saying hi. Like I feel like I was like almost cheating.
Crazy.
It's fucking weird, dude. Saying it out loud is like, dude, that's nuts and fucking strange, right? But it was like just weird. Or how to show my wife love or show my kids love. Like, dude, in the beginning, man, I sucked as a dad. Like as they were babies, like I sucked. Like I maybe changed one.
How would
diaper.
you not?
I
like everybody says, I don't want to be that parent. I don't want to be my parent. But it's all you've been programmed to know.
Well, I thought my value was in producing income. I wasn't around, bro. Like even when I was I was working at the nightclub, or I was I was running a door shop at the time, or I was the install for doors or the buddy's company. I'd go there at 4 a.m. I'd work till 6 p.m. Then I'd go to the bar for 3 hours. Like this is me in my 20s. I got my wife pregnant. I was 25. She was 22. So like it fucked my life. I didn't become a better human till I was fucking 30. You know, it's like it's fucking like
you got me beat. I was like 45.
Yeah, like I didn't even like try to change. I fucking drank every day.
Oh, did you think that there was something wrong?
No, no. I thought it was what I just was supposed to do.
We were talking earlier today about culture, right? It's like that's the culture you were in. There was like this is what we do. Tuesday nights are taco night at this bar.
Yeah.
Thursday nights are music at the cigar bar, which means Friday afternoon is Bloody Marys at this place. Yeah. And then Friday night, like it wasn't, no one thinks and you're not doing anything wrong. I just am the type of person that if I start drinking on Thursday, I'm drinking till Sunday.
It's all go.
Yeah.
It's all go. Oh, I'd be drunk.
That's all.
Yeah.
And other people can handle it.
Yeah.
I just know I can't. Right? People will still say, can't you just have wine with dinner? Like we had dinner last night. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Nice bottle of Opus One. Couldn't you just have one glass? No,
I drank a whole fucking bottle.
Uh-huh. We would have 3 bottles and then I would have went out.
Yeah.
And maybe 100%. I could now, but here's what I know. I could now until maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's 10 years. But 10 years from now, do I want to be right back where I was when me and my wife were going to get divorced
Yeah.
and my whole life was a shit show? No.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I might be hard headed, but I can
That's
I can learn from that.
I will tell you that is like once I've experienced something and I can like put it in my nervous system, like I typically won't do it again if I didn't like it. That was like I didn't smoke a lot of weed, dude, because I just didn't like it.
Well, that's why Ronnie fucked me up by saying like you won't do anything that you don't like. Like you're getting something out of it, and something that you're doing you like. There's something about, or you just fucking wouldn't do it.
100%. That's why I don't like drinking anymore. I just don't like it. Like I tied one on probably about 6 months ago. I was at my investor's house and they were all hanging out. I was like, "Do you want a glass of wine?" I was like, "Yeah." I turned it 5. Well, 5 glasses of wine's a lot for a dude that hasn't drank it.
Yeah, it's almost 2 bottles.
Yeah,
or a bottle and a half.
So, and I was like, "Dude, this is like regret instantly. Get home, regret, feel like shit next day." I'm like, what is that? I'll never do it. I'll never do it again. If you see me with a drink, it's 1 glass of wine. Done. Because I don't want to experience it.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I don't need it in my life. I'm also done with being chaotic. Like that is so clear to me. Like I want peace, man.
Well, I think you can have chaos but not be chaotic, right? There's going to be times where it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah, but I don't even call that chaos anymore. I think it's like chaos to me is jumping on my motorcycle and driving. Like that's my chaos. Like I'll get on my bike, go. And if I feel like I'm stressed or like I feel like I want to just break something.
Yeah, same dopamine hit.
I'll go like a motherfucker and just fly, and then I come back and I'm good. But before it would come out in my work, like it would come out in my conversation, it come out the aggressive way I communicate. It's coming out like it would come out just different. So I don't want to show up that way anymore. So I try to find another way to relieve it.
Yeah,
because if it's still there, and that's what I think. I mean, like anybody that's ever gone through something, like man, my fucking demons are still there. I'm still. That's you.
Yeah, it's fucking
that's
stupid.
You. That's rookie shit. Just kidding. I'm making sure it's not.
No, it's me. I can see it.
Like my demons are like I know they're real in my life. Like they're still there. They're inside. I might know how to control them a hell of a lot more than I do. But dude, I still have the same capabilities. I'm still capable of violence. Like I know I am. I'm still capable of drinking all the fucking time. I'm still capable of selling drugs. Like if shit got bad, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like
nowadays it's okay. Everything's legal now, so we're good.
But like I have legit demons, and I don't know if they ever go away, and I'm okay with that. But I get to be in control.
I think Jordan Peterson talks about that, like being a savage.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to know that you can be. Yeah, because you might need to be.
Yeah, be a monster.
Yeah, be a monster.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to be a dick.
No.
But have that monster mentality inside that if it needs to come out,
100%.
That shit's squared away.
Yeah.
So, what's one thing that you would tell somebody that maybe is in that transition or wanting to be in that transition, right? From understanding that they're not in a good spot and they have that self-awareness, how to get to that next
I might
level.
lose people here, man, but if it wasn't for God, I'd be fucked, dude. Like no joke, man. God saved my life. 27 years old. We had no money. Like we were broke as hell. I was working at the nightclub, and you know what an Empower box is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where you have prepaid electric. We had an Empower box. Well, $10 I think beeps. It's like beep 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 beep. My son was sick. He was allergic to amoxicillin, so we needed this crazy medicine. It started with an S. I can never pronounce it, so don't ask. But like, it was like $200.
Damn.
I didn't have money for
back
power.
then.
I didn't have money for power. I didn't have money for this medicine. The fridge is looking bleak. We're broke.
So you're right back where you were when you were a kid.
I grew up.
Yeah, all the things that you said
same story.
you would never fucking do.
100%. So like, I'm literally contemplating going back to like doing shit the wrong way because there's no way I'm gonna make it famous. Like I'll take 100% of the risk and go figure that out. So I was always good to make $250, $300 a night at the bar. I was good enough to hustle the crowd, or I would used to take girls to the bathroom and let them cut the line for $20. And like I used to just hustle. Anytime they would come in like a VIP, I would introduce myself to the guy. I'd be like, hey, I'll take all your ladies tonight. And I would like just help, right? But I made money that way, so I'd get good tips. And so when I got there, the head of security comes up and goes, hey, you're not working upstairs. You got to work outside the front door. I'm like, no, dude, I got to work upstairs. I got to make money. He goes, your personal problem, go out front. He goes, can you card? I'm like, yeah, I can card, dude. He's like, go out front. So the guy, he had just let a dude go, so I had to go work the door. So I'm working the door, fucking places just like it's getting busy, dude. Line around the block. Next thing you know, people are trying to cut the line. So I'm at the VIP line, and people are like, "Hey, hey, hey!" And next thing you know, I'm getting tipped to cut plus play the door fee. So now I'm like working that crowd, dude. And the part of that I've left out is this: on the way to work, I'm in tears, bro. It's a 45-minute drive. Like I'm literally crying. Don't know what to do. Don't know how to take care of my family. Don't like I'm at like a breaking point. And I've been a hardcore atheist my entire life. If there was a God, I fucking hated it.
Yeah, what's he done for you
I
at that
hated
point?
it. At that point in my life, I had like an angel, a devil tattooed on my leg, I had a burning Bible. Like there was legit hatred. And I say that I didn't believe, but I think I believed, but there was a hatred, right? I have guilty sinner tattooed on my arm right now. Like I've never covered it up. My leg, I completely covered.
Well, I mean, that's still true, right?
Yeah,
I mean, whether
facts.
you
Yeah,
believe in God or not.
yeah.
So
So like I've covered my leg up to this point, but so I'm driving and I'm like, I have this overwhelming sense to pray. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm fighting it, not doing it, not doing it, not doing it. I finally get in pull in the parking spot. And I'm like, listen, I'm not. And then this is what I say. This is not even a prayer. I might get goosebumps. But I said, you know what I need? I'm not going to ask for it. I'm not going to ask you for it. If you can get me through it, I'll look for you, but I don't promise I'll follow you. So in the car. So anyways, and that happens. I go inside. I work the front door. It's getting tipped left and right.
So when you went inside and found out you weren't going to go upstairs, did that automatically be like, you motherfucker?
Yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I literally was just vulnerable and
Yeah.
you just kicked me in the
I
fucking
was
teeth.
pissed. So like I was salty, and then it gets busy, started getting tipped left and right. And I needed probably about $800, power, medicine, a little bit of food. Went home that night and made $1,200. It's crazy, dude. So I started my path, dude. I started meeting with different. I had no clue who to talk to. So I talked to the LDS religion, the Catholic religion. I was looking for everybody, and all I did was tell my story. All I did was tell my story. I didn't hold anything back. All the bad shit I'd done, all the shit that I was embarrassed about.
Who's gonna take me?
Yeah, like all of it, dude. That's it. Like, and dude, like you wouldn't believe the judge. Like it was gnarly the shit people were saying to me. Like gnarly, dude. Gnarly, bro. And I finally was like, God, like this ain't for me, right? It's just not for me. And my father-in-law introduced me to a pastor out in North Scottsdale. His name's Pastor Rowdy Van Horn. And he said, I met with him. We're at barbecue. Are we done?
No,
Are you
I'm
good?
just checking.
Oh, I'm at barbecue with him. I tell him everything. He just looks at me and he goes, that's your past, man. I want to talk about your future.
That sold.
Done, dude. He goes, dude, we all have a past. He goes, no shit. He didn't say shit. He goes, but we all have a past. All of us do. You're not the first person I talk to that has a past. He goes, but I want to talk about what it looks like to have God in life. So I ended up starting to go to his church. I went to his church for 14 years.
Wow.
I mean, I literally ended up running men's ministry for him. Ended up speaking every Sunday, like a 5-minute motivational message in front of the church. Dude saved my life. God saved my life through it. But he was what I needed. Ever since then, my life changed. That's when I got to the car business. That's when I started making 6 figures. That's when I became a decent fucking human. So for me, it was God, man. So like, if I'm not a believer and I'm going through something, I would tell you to look. You got a hole in you, So I would look inside first, and then you got to take actionable steps to let something fill. Now you can get any information you want. You can
now.
Yeah,
shit.
you can figure out how God can save your life, or you can figure out how God's not. All that information's out there. You just choose which one you want to understand or believe. So what God did is gave me accountability to being a decent human, a decent father, a decent spouse. The Bible gave me guidelines of who I'm supposed to be. So that's how I viewed it, and the relationship with him has blessed my life. And it's just everything is taken. So for me, it's spiritual, dude. And I know some people might even hate that last 5 minutes, bro, but it's my story. It's what it is, and for me, that's what it was.
Well,
The other thing,
a lot of people miss spirituality. Period.
Yeah,
whether it's God or not God.
Right. What I will tell you though is you have to be aware that you need a change. In the car driving there, I knew I needed to change because what I was doing in my life wasn't working. I was already into self-development. I was already into reading books. I was already into all this stuff that I was just chasing for it to make me feel better. I was just looking for something to go like, oh, you're on the right path. It was like mental masturbation through growth, through the fucking self-help books.
It's personal responsibility,
Yeah.
like, right? You can't change what you don't own.
Yeah. So like for me, it was like, okay, I need to know where am I going wrong, right? And it was just I valued the wrong things. I chased the dollar. I was looking for the money. I wasn't looking for the relationships. Everything just changed. It just blew up. So now I'm 42. That was at 27. So I've been faithful for 15 years, and my life consistently has gotten better. Now, that's not to say there hasn't been hiccups. You know, in 2022, my investment company lost $450,000. It's a shit ton of money when you owe people that much money, dude.
Yeah.
It's a kick in the face, and you got to work and you claw. All of last year, I didn't take any income. I lived on my savings for 12 months, 13 months.
Here's the best part, though. You already know you can do it.
100%. Here's a good thing about coming from nothing, bro. I could fucking go back to zero tomorrow, and I'll be all right.
I told people I've lived on 30 grand. I've lived on 300 grand. Either way, I know we can make it through it.
I don't want to lose it.
No.
But I know what it takes to get by.
Yeah.
Like, I know what it takes to scrap and claw and go out there and get it, dude. I know what it takes. It will never happen because the level of knowledge that I have in my head, like, I'll always be able to go produce income from what we do in this industry. So that will never happen.
Yeah, but I think what you're clawing now is different than you're clawing then, right? It's just that level up.
Well, now it's all about people, man.
Yeah.
It's not about me anymore. It's about who can I serve, who can I help, where can I work through others. You know, most team leaders, dude, they want to go crush production. Like they want to be the top salesperson in their fucking team. I have zero desire to sell like real estate. I love real estate, but I want to win through others. And it's funny on recruiting appointments or people that I'm talking to, I'm like, I want my income directly related to how well you do.
You do. I only make money if you make money.
Yeah, dude.
And I make a way smaller portion
100%
than what you're going to make.
I need you to crush it so I can make an average income.
Correct.
I need you to make 600 grand so I can make 2. You know what I'm saying? Like it's if to, you know, so like and I think that's where my passion is. That's what I love. So that's the path that I'm on. Now, have I had to sell real estate these last 12 months? Sure. Yeah. But that's not my goal. My goal in the next 6 months is to be completely back out of production, giving 100% of my deals to my team and creating opportunities for them to go have the life that they deserve.
Right? 3 things: recruit, coach, provide opportunities. That's it. That's all we're here to do.
All of it. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm glad you came.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you came down instead of us doing this.
Hell yeah.
Over Zoom. Me too.
Zoom will never been as good.
No.
It's fucking awesome, bro.
Well, you fucking rock, bro.
I love you to death.
Love you too.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.